What's up, guys? How's it going? Just wanted to jump on and pull some energies for you. Um, Everything's going to be tip or donation based. So if you can afford to send a tip or a donation, that helps keep the energy fresh and going and moving forward. Everything's energy based, right? So for that matter, I have Cash App, PayPal, Venmo down below. Um, Always available for one-on-one readings. Just reach out, like, share, follow, comment, subscribe. Emphasis on the share. Help keep the channel alive and growing and kicking. Um, I feel like one of the kind of differentiations with this channel and other channels are that we don't shy away from, you know, uh, the word God, or religion or, spirituality. I feel like it's all related in the same kind of gumbo soup. And just kind of philosophically, as I grow and my thinking changes, and it's going to inevitably influence this channel and the content. So, one of my recent kind of revelations and or where my mind's been on the whole like God debate is, for me personally, defining God as that which is outside of your experience, and coming and entering your realm, your world, your reality, and changing it for the better. So, where our ability to fathom and comprehend ends, and kind of the divine timing of things and the divine play of things begins, is what I would define as God. Um, and it's interesting because as a reader, you're kind of trying to mediate between, where gnosis knowledge ends and where the unknown begins. So, um, that's always a little bit of a tricky scenario, especially when you're making predictions. Okay. Um, but I do feel as though that there's a real art to that too. And that's where a lot of the astrology comes in. But I do believe that tarot can pick up on like the zeitgeist, the collective consciousness, the energies. And you get a lot of confirmations, even across other readers. And they've been saying for the longest time that good things are coming. Um, as an Aries slash Pisces, I've been looking a lot into those readings, and I just feel like in my own personal life, my sentiment is that something has to break. I've been in the job market as of late, looking for something more stable and traditional because, let's be honest, the economy has kind of dried up the well of, uh, you know, tarot reading and doing food deliveries, and that's essentially how I've been able to kind of make it out here in LA, after kind of resigning from a more traditional job. And I believe that everything plays out for a reason. I think that I have like this kind of renewal coming in career, especially when you consider Pluto. I believe it's still retrograde in Capricorn. That's the house of career. So you might even be experiencing that as well. Something revamping or redirecting, um, your career trajectory, of course. That being said, the greater gratitude, do I live in light, highest possible messages at this time. Let's have some fun and play with the tarot. So I do see the Six of Wands wanting to hop out here. That is about, um, divine timing, victory, success, forward movement. Okay, which is always good. Um, it's something that's going to help bring you to the public eye, I would say, if that makes sense. Because the victory in the upright is all about being out and about in the public. You could have been feeling as though you've been kind of hanging waiting. But again, this is all to your benefit in regards to changing the way you see things, changing the way you understand your reality in your life. This is a wish fulfillment, new incoming energy here, Aquarius energy. The next full moon is going to be Aquarius energy. Now, when we talk about days and weeks, we are looking more so to the wands and the cup energies. The Six of Wands is 6 days' time, okay? Or you could even interpret that as within the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there's 3 more days in the week at the time of this recording. But again, 6 makes me think of week. Spirit, you want to clarify that? Union, okay, with the 5. So that could be, let's see, Thursday. If you're counting by Monday, that could be by Friday. I personally made a prediction that things are going to pop off Wednesday today as far as incoming information, and then things are going to be sealed or clinched by Friday. I've been kind of heartbroken in the past with predictions and expectations, especially the past couple of weeks looking for a job. So I try to tell myself that if it's not exactly to that expectancy, that liking, then at least know that I'm in the ballpark for my personal goals and endeavors. And you might be able to, do well to apply the same to yourself. Temperance feels as though that you're running out of patience, or obviously you can feel as though that you're not in divine timing. But again, that wish fulfillment says quite literally, the wish fulfillment has to do with your financial freedom, independence, and abundance. And it's highly likely that you've been cognizant of being desirous of this, wishing for this for a long while now, not just this moon cycle. You might even ask yourself, why has it taken this long? And, it might just be that you've needed to kind of dig within yourself to really kind of figure out your own belief system so that you could help usher in this kind of new consciousness for reality. It could be that a lot of the cardinal signs are experiencing this as well, or now they're going to be moved to the forefront with that grand cardinal cross this week again, astrologically. Good time to set your intentions with the moon card, or with the moon cycle being in the new moon phase. Again, that full moon in Aquarius at the beginning of the month of August, I want to say, around the 3rd or the 4th, maybe even sooner. This is cause for celebration, 3 of Cup in the upright. Slow moving energy here. Yeah, it's like a false start, like waiting for the starting gun to shoot off. Full card in the reverse. Not knowing which direction to go, feeling stagnancy. But again, everything seems to be trending towards coming out of this conflict sooner rather than later. Excuse me. Queen of Wands is being in an elevated position. Queen of Swords in the reverse. There might be jealousy, there might be criticism here towards the Queen of Wands energy here. King of Cup energy. The masculine and the feminine are coming across as kind of very sound, stable, established. In this particular instance, it feels as though that the protagonist viewer, is embodying both the kind of divine masculine and feminine here, king and the queen, at a very high ranked, high caliber. And that might even garner a little bit of negativity, jealousy, like I said, with that queen energy looking onward. Thanks for the likes up. Let me try to answer that question. Feel free to leave a tip or a donation below. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. You don't have to, but it helps the energy push forward and keep going. Helps me keep this channel alive. Again, you can send that to Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo below in the description box. Let me try to answer that question for you. 1 second. Again, to try to get a time frame, it usually helps if you have like a practical ballpark expectation or answer. For instance, if you expect it to be next year, or if you expect it to be more within like a couple months. So let me know if there's any expectation so we could kind of work together to try to narrow it down. 1 second, let me pull the energy and see. Okay, the swords represent months, so I would say 4 months. Okay, 4 months from now. So it's going to be November 20th, late November. That's going to be about Scorpio, the end of Scorpio season this year. Okay. Thank you for that question. Okay, let's continue on with this general reading for the collective energies here. I almost feel as though, for some reason, I'm wondering if there's a connection with like maybe a female energy or a female figure being jealous a little bit about your success or jealous of you, because she came out next to the Queen of Swords. Spirit, can you clarify? Let me know, Dr. Durrani, if that answered your question. Thank you. Somebody could be a little bit jealous that you don't have to work as hard, maybe, seemingly. Although they probably don't see on the back end how much you actually do work. Not just physically, but kind of spiritually, emotionally. There's all these different ways. Okay, there's an end to this cycle, to this season. We've been speaking to it very commonly as of late, recently, more and more, suggesting that there is this kind of, not just an ending of a chapter, but an ending of like an era, really. You think of like Taylor Swift going on her tour. Her tour is called Eras. And it's like, in plays, there's several acts. And I said this in another reading that I did on TikTok. Feel free to follow me on TikTok as well. New readings are posted up there for all the signs. In plays, you have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. This very much so feels as though, especially for those that are like younger, maybe like in their 30s, mid-30s, But it could also apply to older people as well, depending on where they're at in their life. There's no set time scale for the number of acts in our play of life. I was going to say various, but there's only three. So, if we're using that metaphor, and so it feels as though not just the completion of a chapter, but a completion of an act, and an act has several chapters within it. So, and traditionally, typically speaking, there is this kind of drama. There's this climax of drama, and maybe even mystery or unanswered questions at the end of the first act. Or at least in this instance, that's how it's been coming across. So, with that being said, the death card here, to kind of usher that in. And this is actually good energy because it means that we're moving into something new. And the newness emphasized here is the fact that it's going to be unrecognizable, this next act. You're welcome. Thank you. It's going to be unrecognizable, this next act that you're moving into in your life, this next chapter. Okay. That's what this tells me. And I mean that in a good way. You could have been disillusioned, waiting for this, because it is this kind of death, maybe of career, finances, ego, expectation, the old you. Definitely a transformative energy here. And still there's a triumph, right? Because this figure is displaying the affectation of a living individual. And this symbology here, this 5-figured emblem, represents the triumph of the spirit over the physical. And we see that in the pentacle. Okay, the pentacle represents all the signs of the zodiac, right? Starting from fire, water, air to earth. And then the 5th sign of the zodiac element of the tarot. See the pentagram here? The 5th is at the top. Okay, so you would say there is fire, water, air, earth, and at the 5th, that is ether or the spirit. And so that being said, that's what this imagery points to, right? The 5. Fire, water, air, earth, ether, or spirit is top. And that is transcendent over the physical, all these other realms. And so even though the death here, and this is explained, and you see this gesture, this affectation, this living thing where it's giving peace over the lips of someone that's crying, right? The butterfly is that of rebirth, right? The setting and the rising of the moon and the sun in the background. So you have all this symbology that there is so much more life after this act, as it were, or after this chapter of death. And in many ways, you've triumphed. As of, up until now. You've succeeded, you're a success. And the success comes from not quitting, not stopping, still applying yourself in any given direction, chipping away at your goals. Anything else here for the collective spirit? Anything else here for the collective? Okay, bottom of the deck energy, Queen of Pentacle, High Priestess, waiting for this kind of offer, waiting for this value, waiting for this tangible worth. It's almost as if that excuse me, what you've been imagining or working on in the ethers or the primordial or the quantum or the spiritual realm, it's waiting to be birthed into the physical realm. Okay. And you have the King of Cups in the reverse, you have the Four of Cups in the reverse. This to me points to negative emotion, maybe being on the receiving end of negative emotion, unfortunately. Okay. Or maybe even being kind of open or exposed to negative emotion, unfortunately. Could be an upbringing where you're used to some sort of like emotional abuse in some way, unfortunately. Is what the King of Cup in the reverse to me represents. Nine of Swords in the reverse. It's just kind of getting over that. This is getting past that. Getting past the wondering, the waiting, the worrying. Five of Cup in the upright. This is about you. It feels as though that you're removed. Okay, it could be that there are those that want you to be more involved in their life. What's up, bad girl or bad girl? I don't know how you say that. Um, it could be that you're at a distance, and I'm good. I'm just reading for the collective right now. It could be that you're at a distance, and somebody may want you to come home or something of that nature. But it seems as though that you're very determined, is how it's coming across, to kind of get your wish fulfilled in some way, shape, or form. You see on this card here, there's someone, and this is, you could switch the roles or, non-gender specific, but you can't really see it with the camera, but there's someone off in the distance looking over, contemplating in that direction on this windy road towards this castle, and all of that kind of represents your ideals, your desires, what you want. And that's not to say that you won't kind of double back and revisit whoever you've left in the past, maybe friends, family, even loved ones. But there's something that you have to do for yourself, is how it's coming across. And even if that's in the face of sacrifice. It could be that someone still has this kind of affinity towards you, this warmness, this liking towards you, and you would love to kind of hear from them. You would be more than receptive. Again, this Hierophant in the reverse is being out of union with someone, similar to this, kind of being in separation. And this is that kind of fondness that still prevails between the two parties. And one party is open no matter what, but the other party is not coming to them. And depending on how the relationship last left off, the power dynamics, it could be that party A feels like party B should be the one to reach out first and extend this kind of offer. But it feels like a stalemate. Although I can't imagine that this is going to last for very much longer. And kind of idea that I like to think that is not necessarily mainstream, but if you're more kind of attuned to energetic interpretations, spiritual interpretations of how things play out relationally, you tend to pick up, 1 second back, girl, you tend to pick up where you last left off with previous relationships in new relationships with new people. And in a way, that's how someone could be reborn through a new connection. So Bad Girl says, may I ask, after I see someone for me in love, I'm single, may I ask after, if you see someone for me in love, I'm single? Yeah, let me take a look. Feel free to tip or donate. You don't have to, but it helps the energy keep going. Okay, I have PayPal, Venmo, Cash App below in the description if you want to send some good energy my way through a tip or a donation. You don't have to, but it helps the channel. If you can't do that, feel free to like the video or subscribe, share it with someone that you think might like this. Let me take a look for you. 1 second. Okay, this is coming out of worry here. This is incoming communication. This is someone giving you worth or value or attention. I see two different people. I see that you're going to have to juggle between two different people. They might even try to compete for your attention, and you'll have to decide between them. Okay, you're going to be moving towards one person out of the two that you have to decide from. Okay. One might be let's see here. There might be one that you're not as open to emotionally. Okay? You don't feel like you're connected in the heart. Okay? And it could be that you don't see yourself with them for the long term. Spirit, can you tell us about the person that you will end up with? Okay? They wanted to answer because this is what I got. So this feels like this is who you're going to end up with, the King of Pentacles. He's a cool guy. Aries or Taurus energy. And this one you will feel the connection and you will be very happy with. Okay? The energies just flew out. Okay? So Spirit had a message for you. Okay? Cool? You're welcome. Thank you. That was awesome. That was awesome. Very cool, very cool. You see a lot of love. This is about happiness and harmony, an offer of the heart. Aries or a Taurus, man. Ooh, that was fun. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you for your question. Feel free to like the video, subscribe. You can send a donation too. Let's go back to the storyline. Let's see what's coming across. Because they're bad stuff. Those drugs they pass around. Let's see. Let's go back to the regular reading. Let's go back to the reading. Let's go back to the reading script. Highest possible messages at this time. Thank you. Because of bad stuff. Let's try say pass around. And they really didn't want us to do drugs back in the day. The first line is free. It feels like instability, hanging in the energy of stability. Hey, what's up? Your heart is open though, even though there's this imbalance. Is there a reason why the Emperor is in the reverse? It's like maybe you can't see something, but you're still sticking to your ethic, your morality. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, there could just be this kind of hanging around energy. Could be in separation as well from someone, since this came out upside down. And it could be that you've been in that position for a long time. And at times, maybe you question why. Feels like. But I ironically or paradoxically, the blessing that comes in is the answer, meaning it will have you understand why it took for so long. It will have you even forget the trial or the tribulation or the bad times. But it's also helping you to understand how to make all times good times and to see the good times in even the moments of separation. Because really, there's no such thing as separation. And there's a confirmation coming in here from my phone. There you go. Pulling in that Six of Cup energy, that friendship energy, okay? That energy of kin, someone that you feel that you could relate to, someone that you could feel connected to, someone that you could feel, I understand why this has taken so long. And the answer behind that is that it's because, one, you were being prepared for this connection through the development of your character. And two, it's been a blessing in this time so that you could find yourself and see who you are and what you're about and what you could get into and what you're capable of when you're on your own, when you're truly in separation. And so those are the kind of multitude of blessings in and of itself. But when you do receive this reward in the form of this connection, the reward of that connection is so good, or the reward of this life is so good, that you won't remember those days. You will remember them categorically, but you won't carry with you the suffering. And you will be kind of enthralled and enraptured by being in union with your beloved, or with the job or with the money, and so the secret or the key is to feel that now in this moment, if not to kind of propel you to that reality. So it's a very kind of paradoxical, understanding of all this, and yet still that's kind of how it works. If you could find enjoyment in the kind of separation, if you could find happiness in separation, then think about how much happiness you can have when you're in union with your beloved. And so it's almost as if it's pointing to you finding that happiness within yourself first and foremost, finding your baseline, finding who you are first and foremost within yourself. Maybe without the money, maybe without the connection, maybe removed from, if you're in a situation where you're removed from family or friends or what have you. It's in this kind of crisis that you are forced to kind of activate yourself, the deepest depths beyond what you were thought incapable of enduring or withstanding or producing from yourself. And so whatever kind of strife that you're going through is actually a blessing as well, because it's forcing you to find the best out of you. And so then when that crisis is over, then you can enjoy the best in you and the best of the circumstance. Because there are unfortunately a lot of us that have good circumstances, but we don't appreciate them because we don't know what we have, you know? So if life has kind of placed you in some sort of strife or suffering or loss or what have you, there is plenty of good to come from it. And of course, it's human nature to feel as though that this is unjust, I don't deserve this. But something that also lightens that kind of load or pressure or strife is not to reason with your circumstance as if you're under some sort of punishment. I don't believe in that kind of um, you know, being rebuked by spirit in that way. Um, and because I think it just adds another kind of layer of detriment is when you're beating yourself up for being in a certain precarious position. Um, and definitely there's this kind of symbology of not being able to see what's to come. The blindfold here, three in the wands in the reverse is not being able to see the new horizon, not being able to see the dawning of the new day. But regardless of if you see it, literally, you're always at the benefit of being able to see it um, quantumly, spiritually, on the other side with your mind's eye. And, that segues kind of perfectly into the conversation of faith, um, believing in a higher spiritual power at play. And maybe the gift that is bestowed to the human condition, which is the ability to kind of have a vision for ourselves and then thus kind of try to fight for it or follow it or follow that path or that trajectory. Six of Swords in the reverse, I understand this to be kind of an internal alchemical process where you're being refined. Your motivations are being refined, your inspirations, your MO, what you're about, is being churned over like soil. Because that's going to tell a lot about how your life plays out, and it's going to tell a lot about who you are. Ace of Sword in the upright, this is victory, this is success, this is being touched by an angel. This is being encountered by the divine. And it is piercing the crown of the ego, piercing the crown of gnosis, knowledge. And this is what we understand the divine to be, that which is outside of our referential experience. And we call this blessings, we call this miracles. That is what is to be excited for. That's what that excitement is about, is that we live in this scape, this realm where most of it is quantum possibility and potential. And if that is not a reason to be excited, then I don't know what is. 444 on the clock here as I say that. Most of what you're experiencing is, for lack of a better way of putting it, is nothing compared to what could potentially be made manifest. And so if that's not a reason to kind of flip on its ear how we traditionally interface with reality, then I don't know what is. And I feel as though that is the price that we pay with society and culture, is the naturalization, the normalization of the mundane. And that is mm, the wool that we pull over our own face, our own eyes. That's the blindfold that we put over our own eyes as we try to sheath ourselves in objectivity, right? The math, the sciences, you see the scales scientifically being weighed here so that we could try to make some sense of what we're a part of. We're also, culturally speaking, shielding ourselves from the horribly beautiful, that is unfathomable, inconceivable, incomprehensible, um, that you could even say is divine, God, right? And so we use social structures, math, and sciences to try to be within the same realm of being able to wrap our mind and understand. you know, Let me take this live call here. Hi, this is Dylan. Good. How about you? Yeah. Yeah. Let me take a look for you. 1 second. I'm just going to shuffle my cards up. I know astrologically speaking, Venus is going into retrograde if it's not already in retrograde, and so that is a kind of dipping into the past. And Venus does rule love and romance and relationships, so you might even be experiencing those symptoms, kind of energetically. So that could kind of account for a lot of what you're experiencing, and I think that there's a benefit to that because it allows us to compare and contrast, what could have been, and maybe what we would like to feel more of in our current connection or our current relationship. But let me see what wants to come out. I would be wary of thinking in the extreme that something's going to rekindle, because I think that our minds do try to test us and play tricks on us about reunions and fantasies and all that stuff. What's coming out here first and foremost, the Page of Wands is about enthusiasm, kind of maybe even a restlessness, ready to get up and go, have a change of scenery. I do feel as though something big is coming here. The Empress is in the reverse. This is about something being born, or something given birth to, something new that maybe you'll want to seek out or have kind of manifest in your life externally. The Hermit card is about venturing out and about. And again, it might even be fantasies of rekindling or reconnecting, but I feel that it might be some sort of like deeper, maybe primordial urge within yourself to maybe go seek something new, like a new experience or a change of scenery. Um, yeah, yeah, and it could be that maybe sometimes, if we're kind of in our traditional lives and we're not having as much of a change in scenery or terrain, then we start to, think in these kind of romantic ways. But I feel as though that energy can be expressed in a healthy way, even if not kind of adding a new spark or dimension to your current marriage. Um, connection. So, um, yeah, and again, the reason why I'm speaking in this way is because I'm not necessarily seeing those energies of kind of anything coming back from the past. So yeah, there are specific cards that suggest that, specific energies that suggest that. I don't really see that here at all. So yeah, I'd tell you if I did, but I don't see that at this moment. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Have a good one. Let's see. What do I want to do? Do I want to do TikTok? Do I want to chill for a little bit? Recoup, re-energize. Yeah, I mean, you could ask, is he sending energies towards her, and maybe she's picking up on them? Is that what that is? Or is it just all Venus retrograde type energies? This caller that I just had, she was saying that like she's thinking about an ex that she was in a relationship with like 9 years ago, but they're both happily married now and like living separate new lives. And yeah, maybe it is that Venus retrograde. Maybe it is that kind of chemical, molecular, phantom memory thought. And it brings us back to a connection. I think they said like go back to like 2015 where you were with said connection, and you might get things that pop up in some way romantically with that. Anything you want to share with us in regards to Venus retrograde, Spirit? Venus retrograde. If anything, the caller kind of helps me pick up romantically. Anything to come with Venus retrograde, Spirit? You'd like to share with us? Yeah, it's almost as if to say that it doesn't matter if he's sending anything her way. What matters more so is the fact that like now is the time for that. I think that's kind of fascinating. Not being able to see something, sometimes giving power away to jealousy, self sabotage. So don't pity yourself if you're not in a relationship, or if your relationship is where you want it to be. Is what it says. Six of Pentacle. This is about receiving, but maybe it's about being breadcrumbed. Maybe it does call into question worth. I wonder if Six of Pentacles, Taurus, and Libra. Let's see. Nine of Wands. One second, I'm just thinking here. Pluto, Mars. Saturn. Pluto, Mars, Saturn. Wow. So this is the moon in Sagittarius? Wow. Jesus Christ. Wow, it's the moon. It's a feeling to be burnt out. I think that is the alchemical symbol for Mercury. Yeah, because it's communication. This is Saturn. Moon and Saturn. That's fucking fascinating. The moon in fucking 6. 2 moon cards. Jesus Christ. Well, the ruling of Libra is Mercury. 5 of Pentacles. Wow, that's interesting. Hey, what's up, Jessa? How's it going? I can do a quick reading for you. Please consider sending a tip or a donation to Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo below in the description box. It helps keeps the energies going. Let's see what comes out for you. Yeah, like I said, if you tip or donate, that usually helps get the best out of me. 7 of Pentacles in the reverse for you, Jessa. The feeling is of maybe something's not coming in or growing in for you. 4 Wands in the upright, though. This is about union. Could be union in relationship. Could be a finish line energy. Stable, steady action. 4 Swords in the upright. This is rest and rejuvenation. King of Pentacles in the upright. This is someone who's very well-to-do, a masculine energy, could be overseeing you, could be a boss, someone higher up if this has to do with work or career, a long, steady vision maybe for you on your behalf. Let's see. Anything else here, Spirit? Anything else here? Okay, coming out of conflict, 5 of Wands in the reverse. Okay, that's good. Yeah. I could tell you that. It's fine. Or I should have been like, yeah, I should have been like, yeah, I just said that. Okay. Rejoice, rejoice. Yo, situation. Yeah, I mean, something new feels like it's going to come from this. The Ace of Pentacles here. This is usually about a new offer or an opportunity. Um, yeah, I mean, not to bury the lead, but you just drew three aces. So if we're playing poker, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say that two of them are in the reverse, the Ace of Cup, Ace of Wand here, but this one, it's indeterminable, so I tend to read that in the upright, which is positive, newness, new opportunity, new beginning coming from this. So I could see that maybe there's a lot of worry or concern or overthinking this with the nine sword in the upright. Um, Strategizing, planning with the seven of sword in the upright, maybe even concerned of a little kind of like back talk, gossip, things being hidden, not in your favor. But I also think that this is kind of just being strategic in your situation, getting your facts straight, getting them down on paper, uh, evidence, maybe even email chains. Yeah, just whatever's going to back you up more so evidence wise. Because that tends to win in, work related or even corporate situations. So if you could try to be like, as factual and, have your evidence and your ducks in a row, that tends to help your cause here. Mm. Yeah, I mean, I see happiness here. I see things playing out harmoniously. It might require you to kind of stand your ground, stick to your guns, speak up for yourself. Don't let things go left unsaid. But it seems to come out with the Ten of Heart in the upright, which is a harmonious conclusion. The Four of Heart in the upright is that feeling of maybe not settling for less. Okay. Rejoice, rejoice. Ooh, I almost want to make a prediction. So, I don't know how long it might take for things to play out. If this is one of those situations where things take a while to play out, okay, I predict by not for nothing, but the next time that the moon is in Pisces, which I know is going to be sometime at the beginning of the month in August, because we have that full moon in Aquarius around, I want to say the 3rd. So it's going to be, yeah, I want to say like early August, after like the 3rd or the 4th. Of course, this doesn't want to give me what I'm looking for. 1 second to whoever asked that other question. You got to bear with me. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, Moon is going to be in Pisces. Yeah, I got to imagine around like the 7th of August. Why won't it tell me next month? But yeah, around that time, you get the picture. Oh, there it is, August. Let me pick it real quick. I think that this is all going to, again, depending on the situation, it might be resolved sooner. But my feeling is that around August 3rd or 4th, this is all going to be resolved. Because, and I'll tell you why if you're still there. The moon is going to be next in Pisces around August 3rd and August 4th. Now, the reason that's significant is because the 10 of Cup here in the tarot, we read the 10 of Hearts as the 10 of Cup, is ruled by Mars in the sign of Pisces. And again, the kind of energy of Pisces is significant, I think, in this context. Because it's coming down the pike, it's coming down the pipeline as far as when the moon will be in it next. And not for nothing, but we did get these cards come out before you came in the room and asked the question. And the Six of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands are the moon in Sagittarius and the moon in Taurus. And so to me, that's telling something about the fact that there's a significance in what phase the moon is going to be in relation to your question. And I can't remember if there was another correlation that I drew that I forgot, but for some reason or another, it just told me like, look at when the moon is going to be in Pisces again, and that's when this is going to be resolved. So yeah, I feel around that kind of 3rd or 4th of August, there's going to be like a happy conclusion, so to speak. So that's how it came across. Why did Papu Das retract his message? I don't get it. Yeah, I think that like, it's best to go to HR and just, keep it as professional as possible so they can't blame you for not keeping it on the up and up. I worked in corporate America for over 10 years, so kind of learned a little bit about how that shit works. Yeah, I think it's like, the more that you get into reading the cards and the energies, the more you could start to make predictions. Last month, we had the full supermoon in Capricorn. A couple of weeks ago, I should say. And it's interesting because I've been in the job market, and that's when I had an interview date in person scheduled in Santa Monica. And so it's a very kind of auspicious, positive time because, again, the moon, full supermoon, was illuminating in Capricorn. And that's ruling energy over 10th house, which is career, growth, and development. And I could go on and on about all the synchronicities that led up to that. But I've been getting more into making predictions based on where the moon's at. Um, and our next full supermoon is going to be in Aquarius, and Aquarius rules surprises, um, sudden happenings, rewards, gifts, things of that nature too. So, I would say more so like, again, I would say it's more of an HR thing. Um, you know, I'm not convinced that you have to necessarily worry about, how this person looks. I just feel as though that it's best to kind of defer to HR. I don't think that there's a specific person, so to speak. But if you leave a tip or a donation, I could look for you. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I feel like there was another reason why I thought to look to the moon. I don't know why that came to my mind. Yeah, it's interesting. We did come across the Seven of Swords, and that is actually the moon in Aquarius energy. Um, and that has to do with gossip and such, like you were referring to. But I think that this is going to play out. That might be the connecting factor that I was missing as to why I started to reference the moon at all. But I do know that I brought up this image map. This is what I'm looking at in the background, by the way, if you see me reading something. It's this image map that places all the zodiac signs and all the decans. They're called decans in reference to what zodiac card, or excuse me, what tarot card rules the respective zodiac sign. And so that's how I know I could reference this map when I see the 10 of cups. I could ask myself, okay, what's the planet associated with, because every card is associated with a sign or a planet in the tarot. And this is something that I'm learning as far as memorizing the whole kind of structure of it, because it's just another level of depth and insight that helps you as a reader. And even again, if you're starting to dabble into making predictions, um, yeah. And I just instinctually, intuitively, and also since I think that I had the moon on the brain because I was using this map prior to when you came in and asked the question to look up the meaning of these two cards that actually happen to maybe relate to your situation too, coincidentally enough. And it just happens to be that these cards, the ruling planets in these cards are the moon. The moon is a planet in ancient kind of alchemical astrology. Um, and so that's why I had the moon in the brain. So my instinct kind of correlated the question of when is the next time the moon is going to be in the ruling sign of this card, which is happiness, harmony, fulfillment, completion, as it pertains to your reading. Um, and that's why I was looking up. It's going to be at the beginning of August, around the 3rd or the 4th. Um, yeah. And then also, not for nothing, like I said, Seven of Swords, which is a card that came out in your reading that actually has the moon in Aquarius, which is just before the 3rd or the 4th. And to not bury the lead, the ruling planet, it's not the moon, but it is Mars. Um, and it is in Pisces. And again, intuitively, I just kind of fused what was on my brain in that moment, and my understanding that Pisces is coming towards us as far as um, where the moon is going to be eventually coming up. So yeah, I think I'm going to start to integrate that method more and more in making. I think I'm going to start to move more so into making predictions in this way. So Jessa, um, I would love if you came back and gave us an update around that beginning of that time, the 3rd or the 4th of August, in a couple weeks, and let us know how that played out. Because I would love to see if that prediction is confirmed, that there's a resolution by that time. Quadruple two on the clock as I say that. Rejoice, rejoice, shit, I might even make a prediction for myself right now. When is the next relationship I'm going to get in? That's what I'm going to ask. When is my next relationship? Serious, committed relationship, Spirit. You're welcome, Justin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And like I said, if you could leave a tip or a donation, that would greatly help. If you can't, I understand. But like I said, it keeps the energies going. Consider it a way to pay it forward and help out the next guy. Palak, like I said to Jessa, if you wouldn't mind sending a tip or a donation. I usually give like free readings and free questions, but it's really draining. Like I could feel my energy being drained, and money is energy. So quite literally, if you guys like fill up my tap, then I could continue to dispense as a vehicle of the Lord. But right now, I need to have fun. So I want to ask myself, when is the next relationship that I'm going to be in? So, and since I'm me, I could give myself a free reading. Sorry, guys, I'm being silly. But I do want to ask that. I want to, if I can make a prediction using these decans. Let me see, when is next for when is my next relationship, basically. Spirit of guides to draw the line as possible answers at this time for this question. Using the power of the decans. 3 of Wands in the reverse. Now, without looking, I know that 3 of Wands in the reverse is Aries energy. It may be, let's see, what ruling planet would it be? If I could think. Is it Mercury? I don't think it's Venus. I don't think it's the sun. I don't think it's Mars. Saturn, Sagittarius, Uranus, Neptune. Or excuse me, not Sagittarius, Jupiter. I don't think it's Jupiter. I'll say Mercury or the moon. I don't know why the moon has been like a shitty default for these decans. Let's see, 3 of Wands in the reverse. Okay, I know it is Aries. Oh, it's actually the sun. Yeah, duh. Look at there's a sun here. I'm sorry guys. Sometimes I'm not as quick witted as I would want to be. There is a sun featured here. Of course it would be the sun. Okay, I see you. The ruling planet is the sun. Okay. And again, I'm referring the sun and the moon as planets because in ancient alchemy, it was considered a planet, and the tarot pulls from those traditions. You son bitch. I can't imagine that this is telling me that I'm not going to be in a relationship until next March. Son of a bitch. No. Is that what it's telling me? And of course, I'm going to play the sooner game. I'm going to try to make it sooner. But I don't think the moon doesn't phase into the sun. So, fuck. That's crazy. I mean, if you want to play the sooner game, 3 in the reverse, the wands represent days. Within the next 2 days. Hey, if we're pulling from the quantum soup here, but according to this bitch, this says you ain't gonna get into nothing. Or maybe Mars. Maybe when the moon is in Mars next. That would be okay. Just to keep things related, that would be, or excuse me, when the moon is in Aries, that would be around the 5th or 6th of August, maybe. Let the good times roll. Spirit, maybe help me out. If not the 5th or 6th of August, then your homeboy might have to wait until, if I'm keeping myself honest, then your boy, I was gonna say your boyfriend, your boy might have to wait until around March 21st. This upcoming year, Spirit? Yes or no? Fuck. Let me read the comments. Let me see if anyone is. What's up, Diamond Girl? If you want to leave a tip or a donation, I will bypass what I'm doing right now and I will read for you or answer questions. It greatly helps the energy. Cash, PayPal, or Venmo in the description box. But right now, I'm working on a mystery for myself when I'm going to next be in a relationship. So according to this, I got 3 answers, right? Within the next 2 days, which I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. The next time the moon is in Aries, which is around the 5th or the 6th of August coming up, hey, if we're pulling from the quantum soup, possibility, or next March, this upcoming March, I would imagine. I don't even want to ask that question because if I get a no, then it's like, what the fuck? So which is it gonna be, Spirit? I'm gonna pull a card for each of those 3 possibilities. I'm gonna see what is kind of coming out here. The work card came out here, so I wonder if that means I'm going to meet someone at work. Let's see what comes out here. We'll go for the day, the month, and the year, respectively. And if we don't get any positive kind of feedback energies, then I might have to ask the yearly to see if it's not this upcoming year. Hey, I could believe in a couple days too. Don't get me wrong. I'll give some zhuzh to that. I'll give some spiritual, energetic belief in that direction. Day, month, year. Ooh. The month came out, Two of Swords in the upright. I might be propositioned with, you know, getting into a relationship. Two of Swords, that's Libra energy, a decision, maybe Mercury in Libra. Is that what the Two of Swords is? Ooh, the moon. Duh, because it features a moon. It's telling you what planet, you bozo. Jesus Christ. And the Eight of Cups, is that the moon or the sun? That's actually Saturn. Okay. So the moon is in Libra. But is this telling us also when those planets are going to be in that sign? Like, for instance, I know that July 19th, the moon is in Cancer. Holy fuck. Is Mercury in Cancer? Let's go to tarot.com. Backslash astrology. If Mercury's in Cancer, my mind's gonna fucking blow right now. Mercury. I wonder if it's gonna say like maybe it's a window to get back with someone from the past since Venus is in retrograde. The moon in Libra. Maybe it's like the decision to get back with someone. Two of Swords and upright. Moon in Libra. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's weird. September 19th. Ten of Pentacles. Mercury, Virgo. So lack of moving forward with it. So then are you saying coming out of a decision though, Chariot in the reverse? So does that mean that it's just like a no-go, not going to happen? Because I need to get my Two of Pentacles done. So you're saying more so March? So let's see what comes out with March. Because I feel like it basically said no-go to when it's in Aries. Well, let's see when it comes out for the literal date of March 31st to April 10th. For relationship. Knight of Wands in the reverse. What the hell does that mean? Now it's looking back at the Empress. Seven of Swords in the upright. It's that supermoon energy. Aquarius, wish fulfillment. It's like the Knight of Wands is looking at this. I don't know, that Empress coming out made me shift my whole. And that Seven of Swords coming out here. And she did come out for the Two of Swords in the upright. So are you basically saying that it's going to be this upcoming? It's going to be very soon? Five of Swords in the upright, Three of Swords in the reverse. Moving on. Libra Taurus. Just working on a mystery here, guys. If you send a tip or a donation, it can help me give you a reading. Usually helps boost my energy enough to be able to give you a reading or answer a question. I'm just looking at this astrological decan map, learning it by using it, so that maybe it could help me make predictions better. Venus in Aquarius. Wow. It's kind of a double confirmation. Yeah, that's going to be, if I'm looking at weeks from now, 2 weeks. Kind of tracks. Taurus and Libra. I think Venus is retrograde too. And Leo. It's crazy. Blah, 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 blowing my mind. Wow. I wonder if it's, I don't know, man. I'll say next card in the reverse if it's telling me in August. A lot of positive energies came out for that. Making predictions here, guys. Feel free to write your question. Feel free to leave a tip or a donation. Really helps the energy. Like, subscribe the video, share. Okay, it came out in the reverse. Can't be mad at that. I feel like it's going to be a decision between a past person and a new person. Wow. That's crazy. What's up, guys? How's it going? I don't know. Might be a new relationship connection coming up according to this. I would not be mad at it. What's the fucking wrong planet of? Oh yeah, it's Venus. Taurus. That's interesting. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there unless anyone has a question. Last second. Feel free to tip or donate. It helps keep the energies moving. If not, I'm going to sign off. Let me know. I see one person in the room. Somebody in the USA. Might keep the stream going. Frankie 5 times. If you wouldn't mind sending a generous tip or donation, I could ask that for you. I could answer that for you. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo below. I'd much appreciate it. Again, if you could send a tip or a donation to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo below. Feel free to like and subscribe the video. I could still take a look for you if you don't mind. Just like and subscribe. Let's see what comes out with that energy. Spirit, what should she do? What should she do? Yeah, I feel like, if you're dealing with like a negative entity, a negative energy within this person, you'll have to really kind of learn to embody what that person took from you, because it might not be worth it trying to fight to get it back, because this person might be stealing your energy. So it's like it might be the price to pay for walking away from this person. The card suggests a new start, the full card in the upright. This is kind of like a new beginning. So, it might be more of like a walking away and starting new in a different direction type energy. That's what this is about. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's really nothing that you could do to try and get something back, so to speak. And don't get me wrong, I think that there's like a very heavy temptation to try to get back with this person, even. You have the Lover's card, you have the Judgment card here. This is about second and third chances, and this is obviously about kind of being in union with someone. But, again, you got to look at the bigger picture and try to zoom out energetically. If this person is not good for you and they don't bring out the best out of you, then, you know, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they like their guns in Texas. You're welcome. Yep, yep. So I don't know if I should keep on the live stream, take a break. I definitely need to take a bathroom break, so give me 2 seconds, and I'll decide if I should keep streaming. Oh my God. Okay, I might have a cup of coffee. Maybe that'll help me keep going. Guys, I'd love to give you like free readings and answer questions for free, but please, I adhere. What's the word? Behoove you to send a tip or a donation to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo below. It helps keep the energies going. It helps keep the channel going. All that good stuff. Thank you in advance. If not, then your boy has to get up and hustle away, and that takes my time away from being able to do this for you guys. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the likes. I'm also signed on to my other channels, so you may experience a live call. You can call in live as well for a paid reading if you're interested. People tend to just write their question in the chat box. Let me get my coffee from the microwave. 1 second. What we like to do on this channel, in the meanwhile, if we don't have a live caller or a live reading that we're doing, what we like to do is we like to shuffle up, I guess, shuffle the cards and pull some general energies, which is what I'm going to do in a second. If I can get my hair. Yeah, you could drop a question if you want, but like I said, if you tip and donate, it helps the energies, and that would be much appreciated. Again, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo below in the description box. What's coming to me in the next week, please? Spirit of gratitude, joy, love, and light, highest possible messages at this time for Violetan. Okay, Two of Wands in the upright. This is the sun in Aries. This is a very bright, auspicious, positive energy. The Lover's card in the reverse came out here, so this could be in reference to being in separation, out of union. It could be a little bit of a falling out energy. Who knows? I mean, sometimes people are in a position where they want to separate, and that's actually something that they're hoping and they're looking forward to. So take it if it applies. It might not be your specific situation. Let's see if we get any more for Valentine's question. Nine of Swords in the reverse. This is coming out of concern, worry about something not moving forward. Chariot in the reverse. This is an opportunity for you to work on the internal alchemy, as it were, the internal emotions, the internal presets as to how you view and interpret your reality, okay? Sometimes the biggest kind of success is the momentum of kind of just happy and content for no reason, just for the sheer joy in life. The joy in life, yeah. I was kind of feeling that this morning as well, where it was just like, and that's kind of like the inner spirit of like the child within us. You know, you remember when you were a kid, you were just happy. just to fucking exist. And I think that that's something that we could tune into palpably. At least I feel like that's what these energies are calling for. As opposed to sometimes we are too serious, you know. Maybe we're jaded. Maybe we have too much of an expectancy placed on the future blessing coming to us, you know. The high priestess is coming across as very serious here, less jovial. So this week might be an opportunity to rest, relax, with the Four Swords in reverse, and yeah, just be at peace and find that kind of enjoyment. You might have a little bit of a fun energy, playing pretend that like you're on vacation. Sometimes I like to play that game where I pretend like I'm on vacation and I'm at home, even if it's just like, a rejuvenative energy. But the Sun card's here, so I feel as though that there's going to be something that's going to very much so, leave you smiling, leave you happy. It could also be a call to get some sun, some sunlight, if you're near a beach, or if you just have a nice window that has a nice sun view coming in, soaking up some of the sun rays. But I think, aside from that, and as good of a blessing that is, I really do think that it's representative of not only just kind of you and your circadian rhythm getting in tune with the actual sun and the sunlight and getting those energies, because you see the rising of the sun with the Three of Wands in the upright, and then later on at the end of the reading you get the Sun card here. I think there's going to be something. I think that this is just a symbol for something that's actually coming in, to be honest. Again, I don't like to specifically make predictions, but I think that this is more kind of symbolism for something coming in that's going to bring you to this kind of joyous happiness more so. Because again, the Three of Wands is also, as we know, blessings coming in. And they might be tethered to the sun. And the reason why I'm speaking in this way, I can only speak for myself, but there is a certain game of alignment where my circadian rhythm, my days and nights get flipped, but it's almost as if like this reading is saying that my circadian rhythm is now in alignment with the morning, the sun coming, but with that tether, just happenstance, timing, blessings coming in. And so I think that as a communicator to the creative collective, I think that this is having me mention this blessing to you as well. But Spirit, if that's the case, then what is this that's coming in? Can you ask? Can you answer? I should say. It might have to be something to do with the Lover's card, because the sun is looking at the Lover's card here. So if you feel like you've been out of union, there might be something in the form of, if you're not in the market for a relationship, but there's no coincidence that the sun is placed right here unconsciously as I'm just putting the cards every which way. I still like to read and interpret the placement as it lays. But let's see if there's any validity in that, Spirit. Some form of union, some form of matrimony. What follows the Three of Wands in the upright is the Four of Wands. So it could be alluding towards that. And Yeah. And again, we said that this is the sun in Aries. Three of Wands is the decan of the sun in Aries. So I think there's significance there. But let's see, let's zero in specifically on this week. If you could speak to what this is all about, Spirit, before we get too ahead of ourselves. Page of Wands in the upright. Something enthusiastic. A trip or a plan, something that you're going to have to travel to. An action, notice of an action that's going to help facilitate a union. Meeting an offer halfway. Knight of Cups in the upright. Could be romantic, doesn't have to be. Fit it in your life, if there's something that you've been waiting on. Spirit, please continue to describe this. Ace of Swords in the reverse. Something that you've been thinking about as of late. Let me check my handy dandy decan map. Blues clues. Yeah, the aces don't have the decans. It's something that's been on the mind, though. Something that you've been strategizing towards. Could be something that's been keeping you up at night, too. Yeah, I see a divine masculine, so I don't know. I don't know if this is, I don't know what your status is. Yeah. There could be an opportunity to, kind of get together. Manifestation. So bring me inside of me that I don't know. Yeah, I see a match here. Queen, King, Queen and King of Wands. But why all the out of union? Why all the heartbreak? Why all the sorrow? But the Sun card came out, so it can't be all kind of sad, And the Empress gave birth to this. Maybe this is realizing where your heart's really at. It's you being out of union with someone, but then also a chance at being able to kind of reconnect. Is this someone new or old, Spirit? Let's ask for Violeton. Someone that she knows already, or is this someone out of her awareness? I think it's someone new. Yeah, it might be someone in your awareness already, the devil card in the upright. But I think that it might be just saying that you need to get more so in tune with your own kind of childlike nature and walk away from if there's like a connection that's kind of you feel bounded to. Because that does bring in the new, you know. And it could be what the sun card is. Are there any new connections coming this week, Spirit? Any new connections coming this week? Because there was this meeting energy with the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So there could be multiple storylines coming through here. Are there any new connections coming this week? 10 of Cups in the upright coming out for that. God damn. There might be something afoot. There might be something stirring. And it's not, let's just say this is not this. This is more about like lower negative energies. This is more about real heart, real love. And it came out for the newer connections. So it could be that you just have to walk away that which is on the back burner and kind of lean into the future. Lean into the new. Ten of Cups is Mars and Pisces, if I'm not mistaken, which seems odd, but it feels like it should be Jupiter in Pisces, but it's Mars in Pisces. Yeah, it's interesting that the 10 decans symbolize moving into another. I'm studying more of the decans in astrology and tarot. And the 10s always seem to symbolize moving into the next season. So your 10 of Wands is symbolic of moving into Capricorn season from Sagittarius. Your 10 of Cup is moving into Aries season from Pisces. It's very interesting. 10 of Swords, Gemini to Cancerian. 10 of Pentacles, Virgo to Libra. Excuse me as I dry my nose. Yeah, so it seems very positive. I mean, and not for nothing, it seemed an emphasis on romance. Usually there's like, with the Lover's card in the reverse, I kind of more frequently read that as it could be like work related as well, but I think in this instance it was kind of specifically talking to romance of some sort. So, very nice. I like this camera angle. It has all these, has like everything in one picture. My mirror, my clock, my that, my that. In the night, I said it done, na 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 na. Some of our lost will lost soul to one so cold. Da, 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 da. How could you be so dark till you phone? You're bringing out a side of me that I don't know. Not gonna find no one better than me. You're welcome. Thank you, Violeton, for the question. I appreciate it. And like I said, feel free to leave a tip or a donation below. If you don't have it now, maybe consider sending one when you do have it. This show is brought to you by viewers like you. I was gonna sign off before you came in, but then I was like, let me have my coffee. Maybe that'll perk me up. Banana way, banana way, banana, banana way, banana way, banana, banana way. Jananani, drananananani. I'm looking at a dating app right now. Speaking of romantic connections, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Papa needs some loving too. Banana way, banana way, banana way, banana way, banana. Yeah, dating apps do seem like the only way. I mean, unless you're trying to connect. Hey, I'm open to it at this point. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that dating apps, I kind of question if they're really meant. You say, why not? Though I am a British, so a bit far. I mean, hey, stranger things have happened. I'm all the way in Los Angeles, though. So, but do you have an Instagram? Maybe we could start there. Share your Instagram with me. Check you out. I was saying that I think that I'm not convinced that, um, I'm not convinced that, here, I'll send my Instagram too. There, you can follow me on there. You have to type it in, Instagram. I'm not convinced that dating apps have our best interest in mind as far as like trying to connect us with the right person. Like I think they kind of like gatekeep, you know. I think that obviously there's like subscription based. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like, um, you know, like I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. I feel as though that, you know, But at the same time, I mean, beyond like, because I've even purchased subscriptions and, you know, um, and I still haven't had success. But that also being said, I think that, like, if I had to choose to believe, I still believe that there's like a higher power that is like purposefully, you know, using divine timing to make sure that I meet the right person. Yeah. Oh my God. What the hell? It's such a weird text message thing. Anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, my last serious relationship, um, you know, I met the person on Hinge, you know, so I met the person on Hinge. So, and that actually led to a relationship. You know? Yeah, I agree. But yeah, interestingly enough, the person um, that I matched with on Hinge, I was in a relationship with for 16 months. It was a very intense experience. We moved in together rather quickly. And, you know, unfortunately, she ended up breaking my heart. She ended up moving um, out of the blue, all of a sudden. And it was very, traumatic. It was very heartbreaking at the time because, consider you're living with somebody in the same apartment for a year, and then out of nowhere they just up and move, you know. So it was very kind of heartbreaking, but luckily I made it through. And to even kind of throw some more salt on the wound, I'm still in the same apartment. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm still in the same apartment that occurred. You know, now that's my own choosing, technically, but I made an effort to kind of reclaim my territory and turn this into my own, as opposed to. And some people would think that that's kind of, rather crazy, but I kind of interpreted it as being in relation to me wanting to be successful out in Los Angeles, which is where I'm at. And that kind of in turn became the goal, is to be able to say that I'm able to make it here. Um, Especially having moved away from, traditional work. Now that's something that I'm trying to move back into because the economy has taken a turn. Um, but nonetheless, I'm proud of myself for having been able to make it this far. And that breakup it's been several years now. Yeah, maybe it was to get me here in this place, in this location. I like to think that I've been a benefit to this area that I live in. I live just south of Hollywood. Um, So I like to think that I have a good influence on the area in my little way, in my little capacity, bringing positive energy to it. Oh yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's rough. Alcohol. I'm actually sober, so I've had a bout with the relationship with alcohol in my own respect. Um, but yeah, I tend to kind of have like a all or nothing approach when it comes to drinking. I was never like violent or negative or abusive or anything like that, but it was very kind of like consuming of me. But one of the positive things that have come from kind of having my own place is just being able to dive more deeply into myself and figure out how I am and what I would do in my life and what are my own ways without my actions or considerations being dictated by somebody else. So often our lives are molded from what others want us to be or how they want us to be, whether it's a significant partner, family, friends, society. So I will say that there's a lot of good that came from it. And in general, there's a lot of good that comes from these types of experiences, these hardships. There's a saying that only love can break your heart. And I think that part of the human experience is to kind of very much so, have your heart broken so that it can be activated, so that it can be turned on, if you will. Yeah, hospital, liver cirrhosis, liver failure. It's a real thing. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like that's what I've been doing with my tarot readings, and I've kind of served in that way. And so maybe it does help refine my abilities. I'm almost certain that it does. Even in just kind of, I feel like our minds are like these antennas, right? And if we could tune in with some clarity to some sort of higher power or purpose to help guide ourselves and maybe others, then, you know, being sober or being functional or being at a good capacity is very much, in your benefit, to your benefit. I'm going to use the washroom really quick. I'm going to take another break. 1 second, I'll be back. So yeah, very interesting how all of these things kind of transpire. Hopefully for our best interest. I feel personally in this kind of very life altering time because I am kind of hoping sooner than later to find a job, a full time job, something more traditional. Um, but that experience of waiting, you know, that experience of, being between two worlds is quite, the spiritual experience in and of itself, or at least it kind of lends itself to coping through healthy ways and maybe, you know, using it as an opportunity to uh, delve more deeply into spirituality. And I find that that's kind of what I've been doing, hopefully. Um, but I kind of feel like since I've been sober for about maybe like 3 years and 3 months. Um, and that experience in and of itself, but, you know, looking for a new job, seriously looking for a new job within the next 2.5 months, or for the past 2.5 months, it's kind of, it's almost attacked my peace of mind because, you fall back on bills, payments, you're concerned about rent and how you're going to pay for all these things. And it really challenges you to, you know, really kind of put your money where your mouth is, really abide by all of the spirituality that you preach and all of the spiritual practice that you encourage others to do when you're put in this kind of predicament. And the intensity of that, not being able to pay bills or pay rent or anything like that, has challenged my sobriety because it's made me want to, you know, thank you. It makes you want to, it kind of feeds that doubt within you to where you would even want to revert back to drinking or negative habits and lifestyle choices. And so it's interesting that kind of that's what's being attacked. And it's interesting that this is where this predicament is bringing me to. It's bringing me to my knees, it's bringing me to like a rock bottom, if you will, you know. But with that, it's with that, it's showing me how strong I am and what I'm made of and what I'm capable of enduring and, withstanding as a function of the human spirit. And so that I think is a gift in and of itself. Is this experience is showing me how strong I am, you know. And at the end of the day, what inevitably happens is you fall behind on bills and you end up relinquishing that concern to a higher power, to a God, if you will. And you say, I'm not going to concern myself with it. I'm just going to trust that things will work out the way that they're meant to, you know? So there's that. And it's almost as if like it's like, well, and you're put in this position where it's like you're doing everything that you can do in the form of, you're looking for work, you're looking for jobs, you're applying left and right on different websites and all that. And this kind of phase or this chapter, you're meant to give away your power, give away, because there's nothing else that you could do. And so the last step is this kind of like surrendering to something greater than yourself. And so it's almost as if it's like this passage of like this like calm surrender, raising the white flag and admitting that there's something bigger happening, more in tune with what we would call divine timing, you know? Yeah. And that's what I did. That's what I tried to do. I tried to go full time, but the proof is in pudding. If I'm not getting compensated in this direction, if I'm not getting compensated via tarot, then I quite literally am put in a position where I have to look for more stable traditional work. And that's fine, because I think that this journey has allowed me to find a new appreciation in traditional work. It's like this circumstance has led me to reflect on the times when I did have a traditional stable job. And the value of that, you know. And it's funny because it's like I remember having stable traditional work and kind of being embittered by it and rallying against it, and not, but that's out of ignorance, right? You don't know what you have at that time. And so I don't beat myself up for it. I don't attribute it to, a fault of my own, but this experience is showing me, the appreciation of having that kind of stable work. And, I've been looking for something traditional for the past 2.5 months, and it's been slow coming. And I attribute that to, the economy and just a lot of different factors. But I also still tell myself or remind myself that there's divine timing and there's something bigger at play as to when I will be able to work again and all that stuff. So I think it's just a matter of being open to where the current is taking us and knowing when to kind of swim against and upstream, or when to kind of let go and go with the flow. You know? Yeah, I mean, I'm always open to making more, obviously. But at the same time, I'm also kind of a firm believer that we have a certain amount of energy and momentum that we deem kind of appropriate and best to serve in any given direction. And I'm a firm believer in kind of trusting my instincts, you know, unlimited time and money. Um, Unlimited time and money. Well, I like to think that, it would actually look similar to what I'm doing now. And I think that that's a good thing because it means that I'm tapping into, it means that I'm acting as if, right? I'm acting as if I have unlimited time and money, you know? And, I do one of those things that I do or would do would continue to, I do music, play the guitar, make songs, things of that nature. So that's something that I like to do. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna eat some food, and then I might come on later again. Thank you. I appreciate you for joining me, Violeton, and look forward to the next time. And for anyone watching the playback, thank you so much. Love you guys. Peace.